Thanks, Ro. Now, as we come to the end of the interview, now I want to ask you a little bit of a question on your CV. Really, why? What were the reasons for you leaving your previous career and making this shift into tech now?
Well, the cherry on top for me was COVID. So I've been in the airline industry as cabin crew now for about 4 years, and always wanted to be in that space. I love the people. I love the challenge. I was also doing international flights and loved the travel aspect. What I suppose I didn't know going in there would be the amount of, I suppose, learning and there's always something new each day, which I loved. But I must admit, I've been thinking for a while about what else I could do. Although I enjoy that field and traveling, it's hard. You're away from family a lot, and I talked to my partner a little bit about what other things I could do. And yeah, we talked about tech, and I've got a number of friends of mine interested in tech. And when I talked to them about some of my favourite things in my previous career, a lot of them said that was their favourite thing. So the working with people, the strong camaraderie. I think I've got a lot of pride in my work as well. And when I talked to my friends, they said one of the most rewarding things was being able to see something live and other people could use. And it was almost, I mean, software is in a way intangible, but it's also very tangible. We live in these online environments. So that really attracted me. And I think, yeah, I mean, obviously COVID hit and it just took my feet out from under me a little bit. But there wasn't any other choice of another career. It was always, this has just forced my hand into tech. And I'm really pleased it did in a way. I'd already started playing a little bit with coding and looking at software and understanding what it would take to transition into the career. I think now that I have made that transition and come through Dev Academy, I'm really pleased I have. I think I was probably starting to get to a bit of a plateau in my previous career. I would have, if I'd stayed another year or two, I don't think I would have got the enjoyment and the fulfillment out of it. It would have been a bit too long. So it's almost perfect timing for me. There's a lot of stuff that I really enjoy about the software development space. I find amazingly rewarding. It's you're really focused on problem solving and building with other people, and I love that. Every day coming into Dev Academy, you would feel a huge sense of challenge in front of you, and I found that really exciting. And I just love having breakthroughs. Like there's this emotion, this feeling you get when you're hitting your head against a brick wall for so long, and you get a breakthrough, and it's just I find that hugely rewarding. So I think there are some aspects in tech that just really stood out to me, and that's why I made that transition, and I'm really excited to carry that on. I think there's a lot more life in software development than there was in my previous role. A lot more places to go. I think I could actually see myself in time getting into things like mentoring others, which I really loved in my previous role. So I was in a leadership position where I worked myself into more of a leadership position in which I was training others, and I found a huge amount of reward in that, and I could see myself doing that in tech as well. So yeah, I think that's what made me transition.
Cool, thanks. Okay, yeah, heaps in there. Straight away, this is a very factual question. There's no kind of nuance with it. You have to really tackle it head on, and that's what you did. You gave your background about your role in airline work, and straight away you highlighted three kind of aspects of that you enjoyed that are very relatable to tech, or travel less so potentially. But you love the people, you love the challenge, and you love the learning and the variety with that. So straight away, hopefully, as an employer in tech, I'm seeing that those skills are transferable. But you didn't leave that to chance. You went in and you linked that directly to tech as well in your experiences with EDA, which is great. You talked about having friends in tech and talked about having played with coding already, and that's really good, because I think if I've got any doubts about you making just a purely COVID related switch, I'm thinking, oh, well, when the next kind of thing happens, are you just going to drop out of tech again and then revert back to airline work or something completely different? But it looks like COVID forced your hand, as you put it, to make the decision, but it was a decision you were already going towards. It was the only other decision you could have made, because you already done this background work. So again, that's kind of de-risking, showing that you've already got skin in the game in terms of a personal interest. Yeah, you talked a little bit about the environment at Dev Academy, and then really pivoted to kind of talking about what you really love about tech. So you've kind of done the backstory about, this is where I was, these are the skills that I brought, I played with tech, I made the decision, and that's kind of the question answered at that point. But you went the extra mile to say, and now that I'm here, this is why I love it. And that's kind of the icing on the cake for this answer. Really kind of hammering home that, yes, I've made this decision, and now that I'm here, this is why it's been the perfect decision for me. And that, again, that's like telling me that this person is committed to tech now, and they really understand it. And it's also a little bit of like neuro-linguistic programming, that you are in tech, you are a tech person, rather than you're new to tech and you're just about to see if you can get into it. You're talking confidently about being in the industry now, and I'm starting to believe that you are a person that's operating in this industry already. Yeah, challenges and breakthroughs, that was good. And it's already starting to paint a bit of a future state around where you can develop into the industry, a little nod to your career development around mentoring others, and how you've already had that role in airlines, linking your past experience to potential future career path. So yeah, a good, well-rounded answer there.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
One of the things that I could have mentioned and didn't was something around the safety and more clinical nature of airlining. You know, there is a huge safety thing, and equally with software. You know, like, you don't push to master, and when things happen, you've got a certain protocol. So there was other things, but I also tempered it because I was going on. Like, it was getting to be, a lot of these answers are quite long, but that was getting quite long. At the heart of this question, I think a lot of you have done an interview to come into Dev Academy. I think that is still very relevant. That answer I probably would have given to the interviewer at Dev Academy. You know, hey, I've been thinking about this for some time. COVID's forced my hand. I've talked to some people. I've done a bit of coding. I'm here for the right reasons. And those things are still valid. An employer wants to see what is driving you, what is going to keep you motivated beyond on a bad day, and beyond the simple things of, you know, earning money. They want to know what's really attracting you and what's getting you going. And I think that's at the heart of it. And if you can storytell around that, I think it's pretty cool. And the story can be anything from, you know, the technology and delving into things, to problem solving, to collaborating, to building something tangible. There are many aspects that that everyone is drawn to software development for, and they'll be different depending on your story.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I would urge every single one of you to have a story about what your past career was, and practice heavily linking the skills that you picked up from there directly to tech. And yeah, as Ro points out, perhaps if you have got a background in airline or something that's high pressure, where a big problem can happen very quickly and you have to react to it, is a really good way of, you can very easily link that to a project in tech, where when something goes wrong, you break it, you have to find out what it is, triage, fix it very quickly. That's a huge skill. But that's just an example. But you will be asked a question where you can use that 100%. So have
Definitely.
that in your back pocket. Have a good story. Practice it.
Definitely. Cool.